Good day to all of you. My name is Grace Cultura. We are from Affirmative Side. Topic is drug testing in school should be for everybody, not just random. So our intro is drug testing is important to help authorities to combat the use of illegal drugs in the country. So, conducting drug tests in high schools appears to have only a small effect in reducing substance use. A new study suggests. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania found the test had no influence on male students and only a slight impact on females, but only in some schools. The Los Angeles Times reports the nationwide study of 943 students found 27% said their schools had a drug testing policy. For girls, drug testing only had an effect if they attended schools that had a positive school climate, where the student and adults respect one another and the rules of the school are clear and enforced fairly. The study sent a cautionary note to be estimated 20% or more of high schools that have joined the drug testing bandwagon. Study co-author Dan Romer said in a release, "We find little evidence that this approach to minimizing teen drug use is having the deterrent effect its proponents claim." The article notes the Department of Education Office of Safe and Drug-Free Schools encourage drug testing in schools. The study appears in the Journal of Youth and Adolescents. Drug addiction in the Philippines. Drug problems in the Philippines. Student diagnosed with addiction, parents and a school administrator can refer them to effective drug treatment programs to begin the recovery process. Why test teenagers at all? Adolescents' brains and bodies are still developing, and this makes them especially vulnerable to the harmful.
Why are teenagers more vulnerable?
What?
Why are teenagers more vulnerable than adults?
The effects of drug use.
I mean, why are they why are they more vulnerable than adults?
I don't know. But I think
Naku pre.
But I think those who do it can lead to a wide range of adverse effects.
Why?
Drug and behavior and health. Short term, even a single use of an intoxicating drug can affect a person's judgment and decision making, resulting in accident, poor performance in school or sports activities, unplanned, risky behavior, and the risk of overdosing. Long term, repeated drug use can lead to serious problems such as poor academic outcomes, mood changes depending on the drug, depression, anxiety, paranoia, psychosis, and social or family problems caused or worsened by drugs. And repeated drug use can also lead to the disease of addiction. Studies show that the earlier a teen begins using drugs, the more likely he or she will develop a substance use disorder or addiction. Conversely, if teens stay away from drugs while in high school, they are less likely to develop a substance use disorder later in life. How many students actually use drugs? Drugs use among high school students has dropped significantly since 2001. In December, the 2013 Monitoring the Future study of 8, 10, and 12 graders showed that drug use was down from 31.8% in 2001 to 28.4%, while drug use is still below than from 2001. It has been increasing over the last several years, largely due to increased marijuana use. About 50% of 12 diet breeders say that they've used any illicit drug at least once in their lifetime, and over 35% report using marijuana in the last year. Abuse and misuse of prescription drugs are also high. For example, in 2013, 7.4% of high school seniors reported non-medical use of prescription stimulant Adderall in the past year. Adolescents' brains and bodies are still developing, and this makes them especially vulnerable to the harmful effects of drug use. Most teens do not use drugs, but for those who do, it can lead to a wide range of adverse effects on the behavior and health.
Uh, do you think that conducting drug testing in school can help as a student?
Yes,
Why?
we can know if that the testing those who are users or not.
Okay.
Therefore, I conclude that in our university needed to participate in drug testing, and not just in random but for everybody, because in our country there are a lot of crimes that happens which is caused by drug addiction.
Now we can proceed with the cross-examination.
In the University of Pennsylvania, they're conducting drug testing. What is their procedure? Is it random or not?
And for everybody,
It's for everybody.
yes.
Then, is it effective? Not. Good day to everyone. I would like to clear the testing methods about drug testing. Testing methods. Drug testing is conducted by taking blood, urine, saliva, hair, breath, or sweat, and analyzing the sample to determine whether it contains certain substances. The biological detection involves a screening test followed by a confirmatory test if positive. The different methods provide different information, with some such as hair test, able for drugs used within the past 12 weeks or longer depending on the length of the hair sample. 7 to 100 days. Other detection times include 1 to 3 days for urine, 1 to 36 hours for saliva, and 1 to 14 days for sweat. Yes, sir.
What would they do? What would they do after the testing? Those they get clean.
They're doing this for their step by step. They're doing they're examining it, but they're not give their
So it's
results in just one day.
Are you implying that the testing cannot be given at the same day of the examination?
Yes, sir. So 1 to 3 days for urine, 1 to 36 hours for saliva, and 1 to 14 days for sweat. Each method carries its own problems. For example, white urine testing is cheap and able to detect most drug of misissue. Observe test to avoid adulteration are problematic in children. Hair testing is more expensive, can provide qualitative and quantitative. Detect very recent or past few days. Use hair testing can be discriminatory. Dark-haired people are more likely to test positive than blondes, as well as having passive, uh, as well as having the problem of false positive result due to the Dickens School has the advantage of acceptability and very short detection window, and moreover saliva is less infection in a detecting cannabis. The most widely abused drug in adolescents, testing suite is more expensive than other methods, requires specialist laboratory services, analysis, and can be contaminated by passive exposure. Nevertheless, it is non-invasive, is quick to apply, and it is difficult to provide sample substitution, and hence maybe have some advantages over other methods. So I would like to proceed types of tests. Urine drug testing is the most common way to test for drugs. However, there are a number of different drug testing methods available, and sometimes the hair, saliva, or perspiration may be drug tested. To understand the principles behind drug testing technology, some knowledge is required about the way in which the body deals with chemical compounds such as drugs. Irrespective of the method on intake, all drugs, pharmaceutical and otherwise, undergo a series of biochemical reactions in the body. These reactions release the active compound and then gradually degrade the drug and, into slightly different structures. These structures, also called metabolites, are then excreted from the body in a variety of ways. Urine is the main excretion route for drugs and their metabolites. Urine drug testing is the following. The following is a summary of analytical methods used by laboratories to detect the presence of drugs or their metabolites in urine. Perspiration testing. Pharmachem have produced a pad which is worn in the skin for a period of time. The pad contains a mechanism which is able to detect the presence of drugs or their metabolites as they are excreted in the individual's perspiration. The patch is used mainly to monitor people on probation. Saliva testing. Epitope have recently developed a test which detects drugs in their metabolites in saliva. However, this sort of test is limited to detecting very recent drug use. In one study, saliva testing was only able to detect cannabinoids more than 10 hours after the subjects had been smoking. It is likely that this test will be confined in detecting boring enthusiasm only. Blood testing. Although expensive and extrusive, blood testing is the most accurate confirmation of drug use. Since blood testing accurately detects the presence of drug or its metabolites at the time of testing, the results from this type of test are the best in accident investigation or for health, life insurance, medicals. Cannabinoids can be detected up 6 hours after consumption of the testing blood. After that, the metabolite concentration falls rapidly, and cannabinoids are not detectable in the blood after 22 hours. So, I conclude that random random drug testing is very basic or important because as I read my research, it took long time to produce the results. So if at your university, for example, at the University of Makati, there are thousands of students that study at the University of Makati. So if we conduct a drug testing for everybody, it took a long time. So it could to random only. That's good.
Now the affirmative side can cross-examine the negative side. So the affirmative side can cross-examine the negative side.
Do you think it's effective?
Yes, it is effective.
Your turn.
Any further questions?
See.
Good day, to all of you. Do all schools conduct drug testing? Following models established in the workplace, some schools have initiated random drug testing and are reasonable suspicion post-testing. This usually involves collecting urine samples to test for drugs such as marijuana, cocaine, amphetamines, PCP, opioids, heroin, and prescription pain relievers. In random testing, schools are select one or more students to undergo drug testing using a random process, like flipping a coin. Legally, only students who participate in competitive extracurricular activities, including athletics and school clubs, can be to random drug testing. In reasonable suspension post-testing, students can be asked to provide a urine sample. If the school suspects or has evidence they are that such evidence might include direct observation made by schools official physical symptoms of being under the influence and pattern in abnormal or erratic behavior. Why do some schools conduct random drug tests? That schools that have adaptive student drug testing seeking to decrease drug use among students by towards first day of testing will serve as a deterrent and give students a reasons to resist peer pressure to take drugs. Secondly, drug testing can identify teens who have started using drugs and would be good targets for early intervention, as well as identify those who already have drug problems so they can prepare for treatment using drugs not only interferes with the student's ability to learn, but it can also disrupt the teaching environment affecting other students as well. Student is student drug testing effective? Drug testing should never undertaken as a standalone response to a drug problem. If testing is done, it should be a component of broader prevention, intervention, and treatment program with the common goal of reducing student drug use. If a student tests positive for drugs, should that student face disciplinary consequence? The primary purpose of drug testing is not to punish students who use drugs but to prevent drug abuse and to help students already using become drug free. If a student tests positive for drugs, schools can respond to the individual situation. If a student tests positive for drug use but has not yet progressed to addiction, the school can require counseling and follow-up testing. Just because the U.S. Supreme Court said student drug testing for adolescents in competitive extracurricular activities is conditional, does that mean it's illegal in my city or state? A school or school district that is interested in adopting a student drug testing program should seek legal expertise so that it complies with all federal, state, and local laws. Individual state constitution may dictate different legal threshold are allowing student drug testing communities interested in starting student drug testing program should become familiar with the law in their respective states to ensure proper compliance. What has research determined about the utility of random drug tests in schools? Research in this area show mixed results. However, study authors generally agree that student drug testing should be not standalone strategy for reducing substances used in students. In that school climate, the quality and character of school life is an important factor of achieving positive results in drug prevention programs. Hmm. A NIDA funded study published in 2013 found significant associations between both random and purpose student drug testing and use of marijuana or other drugs. The authors note that while drug testing was associated with moderately lower marijuana use, it was also associated with higher use of other illegal drugs. A study published in 2013 found that perceived schools climate was associated with reduced likelihood of marijuana in cigarette initiation and cigarette escalation, and that student drug testing was not associated with improved drug use outcomes. The authors conclude that improving school climate is a promising strategy for preventing student substance use, while testing is relatively ineffective drug prevention policy. A study published in 2012 found that students subject to mandatory random student drug testing reported less substance use.
So the negative side is time out. So cross-examination of the affirmative side will go on.
And marijuana is the one of the drugs that can use into crimes.
Yes,
How about cocaine?
yes,
How about ecstasy?
also yes.
Okay, proceed, Mr. Sartin.
Statistics of drugs problems in the Philippines. A U.S. government report in 2009 concluded the illegal drugs use was a significant problem in the Philippines. Due to corruption and poor law enforcement, there was particular concern expressed about the amount of the methamphetamine, shabu, and cannabis production in the area. Drug addiction appears to be the rise in the Philippines. There are believed to be has many 6.7 million drug abusers according to figure from 2004 is a dramatic increase from 1972 when excuse me, there was only the Philippines continues to be alcohol. They are the second highest consumers of alcohol drinks in Southeast Asia. Most commonly abused drugs in the Philippines. The most commonly abused drugs in the Philippines: alcohol, marijuana, heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, or shabu. Locally now as shabu. Inhalant just, uh, just as nitrates in gasoline. There can be cheap way from people to get high: opinion, ecstasy, MDMA. Concern from shabu abuse.
So,
One
I
of
have a question, bro. Why are those drugs still a major problem in the Philippines?
Because Filipinos addicted can of drugs. Because the person who use drugs using crimes.
Proceed.
Now, concern from shabu abuse. One of the most abused drugs in the Philippines in local type, methamphetamine mixed with caffeine, now known as shabu. This stimulant is believed to be drug of choice for 90% of the Philippines illegal substance user list is powerful addictive drug that can use people to have intense hallucinations and become extremely paranoid. Some users of these drugs
So the cross-examination of the affirmative side can proceed.
Mr. Satin, do you think that nowadays the drugs users increase?
Yes.
Oh,
Is there now further questions? So we end the debate of drug testing in schools should be for everybody, not just for random. And we, the judge, shall proclaim the winner of the. We have tallied the scores of the affirmative: 70, 75, 75, 80, 90, 90. And for the negative, 85, 80, 85, 85, 90, 90. So the winners of our debate is the negative side.